Whoa. Hold on just a sec. Oh, Paco, you're such a moron. It doesn't work if you don't turn the camera on. That was so funny. I'd never done that before. I totally forgot to turn the camera on. But here we are. This is Coffee and Headlines. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Today is Tuesday, May 30th, and I'm so happy about today's broadcast because today I get to say nice things about people that I love and respect. And this all comes from your own suggestions. What are we talking about? We're talking about walking tour guides. But before we even get there, let me start by welcoming everyone, as always, and particularly those of you that are watching live for the first time. If you would like a little welcome from us, please feel free to write the word new in your comment, and we will be so happy to give you a nice little welcome. We're also going to be looking for, as always, for comments that have a capital letter Q at the beginning. But first, I think I might... Oh, wait. Oh, it's a small miracle that I got to the mute button on time. The other day I was pre-recording something and I didn't, and I have a blooper video that I want to show you one of these days. That felt good. Anyhow, as always, we're going to be looking for, that was funny. Well, it was funny to me. We're going to be looking for capital letter Qs at the beginning of your comments if you wish for your comment to be brought up. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that you're just having lovely conversations among yourselves, and that is perfectly fine as well. Let us get started with the news because we have all kinds of interesting things to share with you today. Let's set this up. Hold on just a second, and here we go. Okay, so, oh dear, the water shortage. The water shortage is real in Puerto Vallarta, and I see more and more people coming out reporting that they haven't had water in their neighborhood for days, or that Seapal shuts down water access at night without any kind of advance notice. And now the issue has become that even when there's no water being distributed, end users are now complaining about still getting a timely bill as though the service was being provided. Throw in, and next to that, I want to throw in a couple of 2 cents on this. I've been hearing a lot of comments out there from people that know people that know people that work at Seapal that say Puerto Vallarta has no water. Now, we choose to not mention these things because we choose to focus on news that are being published by reliable services, not news from people that say they heard something. But this is the second time or third time that I actually see somebody acknowledging the fact that Puerto Vallarta has no water. So all I'm going to say is, if you do not have, if you do have water, value it, take good care of it, and consider yourself among those that are fortunate, because if the implications are real, water can become a major issue in Puerto Vallarta in the future. And that's all we have to say about water. But we continue with this one. Another construction project gets shut down for lack of permits, this time next to the access to the La Cruz lookout on Navasolo Street. Now, Adriana Guzman, who oversees the city's urban development and environmental department, indicated that there is no permit in place at her office for the creation of a street and the actual demolishing of parts of the access that were already there. I looked at the article that is being referenced here, and it takes a lot of cojones or huevos or balls or chutzpah. I don't know what it takes, but I mean, for somebody to go in and throw in their equipment and large machinery to be able to start a major construction without checking in with the city, that sounds courageous and stupid at the same time. What do I know? All I know is that it's happening and they have been shut down. So, moving right along, a few weeks ago, people from private citizens to beachfront restaurants to condo managers were complaining about the excessive number of beach umbrella renters in some beaches in Puerto Vallarta. And now Semarnat, which is the Secretary for Natural Resources and the Environment, has answered a request for information indicating that they only have 27 permits in file, and that back in April, they confiscated 59 umbrellas from people that didn't have any permits. What's curious about Semarnat's report is that of the 27 actual permits that they have in file, a large number seem to belong to the same families. So what's going on there? Or why it's there, a family of umbrella renters taking over the whole operation? We don't know, but it's one of those mysteries that take place in this beautiful place that some of us call paradise. It's the way it goes. And here's another city mystery. Do you remember La Liga? That sporting facility where many of us went to get our COVID vaccines? Well, a number of complaints have circulated over the fact that the facility has been closed to the public and for some time, and it is now being used to store water tanks that the current administration is in the process of giving away to some segments of the population. Now, why are they giving away the permits? I mean, the water tanks, or why are they being stored there, or how long? That's another big mystery that we don't have an answer for. But just in case you wanted to go and play basketball at this public facility, please know that you won't be able to. And last in the big news, this is not new news, but Vallarta Independiente kindly reminds us that tipping at restaurants is not mandatory, according to the Federal Consumer Protection Bureau. Now, that does not mean what you think it might mean. It does not mean that we go around to restaurants not tipping. What it means is that restaurants cannot legally add a tip to your bill or expect for you to pay for a tip that has been arbitrarily added to the bill by a restaurant. It happens frequently that a restaurant will throw into the bill their suggested amount, and a lot of times, this has happened to me, I don't know if it's happened to you, but a lot of times you just look at the grand total and you divide it, and then you add a tip over that, only to later realize when you get home and you're checking your bill, it's like, oh, stupid, you actually paid a tip over a tip that was already included. Some restaurants will do this. Not allowed by law. And the Federal Consumer Protection Bureau just reminds us that we need to be watchful for this. So again, it's not that we don't want to support our wait staff out there. What we don't want to support is those individuals that choose to try to take advantage of us as consumers. Now let's take a look at the weather. Let me put it up on my screen and let you know that, oh, ouch. Snarky Weatherman says it's sunny, comma, fuckface. Okay, well, it is what it is. What it is 28 degrees Celsius. Humidity is at 56%, and I can feel it in my veins. Fahrenheit temperature is 83, and our weather forecast for today says that it's going to be humid with clear skies with a high of 32 and a low of 23. Tomorrow, Wednesday, it's going to be humid with mostly clear skies with a high of 31 and a low of 23. And on Thursday, overcast skies in the morning with mostly clear skies in the afternoon, a high of 30 and a low of 23, and still very low chances of rain. Oy, I'm ready for some rain. Now, moving right along, if you have been intrigued about the upcoming Maya train, as I have an article to share with you. And this one was published by Excelsior, a newspaper that we were talking about yesterday, of course, when we were talking about reliable sources. And Excelsior has published the most detailed report I've seen to date of what is now considered to be the largest construction project currently undertaken by the Mexican government and one of the largest in the world. The article breaks down all the stretches of the Maya train and their current status as the project begins its final stage. We are reminded that the train is supposed to be finished and delivered by the end of this year. Another article provides interesting travel time comparisons, indicating that the entire route will take approximately 5 hours to complete. But of course, we don't necessarily want to go hop on a train to do the route and just that. There are stops along the way that are being transformed into major archaeological museums, given the number of finds that they have found as they have created the route. Or, for example, if you take the travel time between two spots, Cancun and Merida, for example, it takes 4 hours to get from one city to the other by car. But the train, when it's completed, will make that route take an hour and a half. So I'm excited about the train. I know that the train has had its controversies because of the impact it's had on the environment, but I think most major projects of that nature will have one kind of favorable or not favorable impact one way or another. I want to bring up to your attention a couple of events that are going on in town that may be interesting to you. If you want to stay fit and learn a new skill, La Catrina Cantina is hosting a series of bachata and salsa dancing lessons on Saturdays starting at 7:30 p.m. So there you go. If you want to shake your shimmy for a bit, this is something you may want to be interested in. And last but not least, Serrano's Grill on Pulpito Street is hosting a decoupage class provided by Handmade Vallarta. Decoupage, of course, is the art of decorating up. Oh my God, my nose is all clogged after the sneezing. Sorry about that. Decoupage is the art of decorating an object by gluing colored paper cutouts onto it. And it's a craft that is very dear to my heart. For the longest time, before crochet, before a number of things, I used to make a lot of paper mache projects and decoupage projects for my home. I even taught a couple of classes here and there. So I'm excited to see that somebody is continuing with that. So if you want to take a class on decoupage, I will leave you with the link in the show notes as always. And now I want to talk about walking tours, because this is something that came up in conversation yesterday. People suggesting that I do walking tours. I explained that, well, I'm happy to videotape walking tours. Managing company while I'm videotaping can be complicated, and it's really not in my grain to do walking tours for people. It's just not me. There are wonderful walking tour providers in the city that are already doing this. And I know them well. At least one of them I know well enough to call my friend, and I would never compete against them. Rather than doing that, I want to talk to you and praise the work of three English speaking locals that can show you around in a most splendid way. And we are going to start with Memo Lira in no particular order. Memo Lira, I have known since he used to do tours for Vallarta Eats, which is a walking tour of street food. Then he started his own operation called Vallarta 101, and Memo has a great Facebook page, and you see him walking around. Once you know Memo, I see him walking around with groups of tourists and people all the time. He is very charming, very smart, very knowledgeable, and has a lot of experience doing walking tours around the city in English. He's a good friend, and I would endorse him without thinking twice. Another great provider is Sandra Cesca, who has had her own Facebook page, Puerto Vallarta Walking Tours, for some time. Sandra Cesca, I have known for many, many years, since I used to work at Vallarta Lifestyles, because she, prior to doing her walking tours, or maybe it happened at the same time, she also authored a couple of books. One has to do with plants, if I recall correctly, local plants, and the other one has to do with walking the city. So Sandra is a very knowledgeable lady that can show you around as well. Then I wanted to talk to you about Sylvie Kopazzo, who has Tours du Jour in Mexico. Now, Sylvie, I have known since the very first Canopy tour ever came to Puerto Vallarta, the one of Las Juntas y los Veranos. I remember when it was still being constructed, and Sylvie was part of that operation as operations manager or some title to that effect. She has been connected to the environment for the longest time. So she runs her Vallarta Tours du Jour Mexico and does excellent tours around the city. She is certified. I don't know about the other two folks, but I mentioned this only because she made a comment to me, and this is something that you also may want to consider as to why I don't do walking tours. You cannot just simply say, I'm going to do a walking tour and make it public and make it official. Walking tour guides in Mexico, well, I don't know about Mexico, but here in Puerto Vallarta, they have to be certified to provide the service. And I know that Sylvie is a certified tour guide. She was telling me just the other day that she is taking more courses to expand her certification. Now, some of you may know Sylvie as the front lady of a local band called the Zippers. She loves to sing as well. But she has this other tour-related operation that I just love following on Facebook, because these gals seem to have all the fun in the world. Sylvie has this thing called Ladies Outdoor Club Adventures, PV. And of course, the initials are Loca, which in Spanish is crazy, but they're not crazy. They seem to have crazy fun. So aside from giving local tours, she takes ladies on trips. And I'm not a lady, but I follow them on Facebook, and I love watching her feed because they seem to have so much fun going places from San Sebastián del Oeste to you name it. So yes, I am very flattered when you say to me that you would like for me to do walking tours, but rather than do that myself, I am more than happy to recommend these three individuals that will take such good care of you as they do their craft. And that's what I have to say about walking tours today. Yay. Now, let's take a quick look at your comments. It always feels good to say nice things about other people and people that I'm particularly proud of because of the work that they do. They are all such excellent hard workers. Lots of good mornings, as always. Thank you very much for that. Many good mornings and reports from your neighborhoods. This is awesome. Bless you, says Bill. Thank you. Bless you, says Albert. Thank you. How was it? They say a sneeze is next to an organism. I think you meant orgasm, not organism. It was heavenly. I love sneezing and belching. Oh, I did say that, didn't I? And our muffin is, well, my muffin is going on vacation, and I am looking forward to hearing your reports. You haven't left yet, Logan, but I wish you a wonderful trip. I know where you're going, and I know when you're coming back, and I'm hoping we can get together soon after that. Gabriel says we can only hope that rain comes quickly to Puerto Vallarta. This is so very true. Very much so. I was showing my shorts. I didn't even notice. Were my shorts visible? Hold on. Oh, barely. They're barely. It's just my green shorts. There they are. Catherine brings up an important comment. Conservationing water is always important. Learned that after living 20 years in a desert. I hear you. The S word is not a kind word. I said it, and I will own it. It is stupid not to get a permit. Only God knows how things operate in our city administration. Not being an insider, I have no idea. But when you see big bulldozers that start destroying streets, you have to be thinking that at least the bulldozer operation or the construction company that rented it verified that they were authorized to use it. What do I know? I see a queue. Do you tip on the whole bill, including the tax, or just on the food and drinks? I tip on the total. I always tip on the total, and I'm always I'd like to think I'm a generous tipper. For me, the bare minimum is 20%, unless there was a problem. And if there was a problem, first I'll try to speak with someone about the problem before I choose to lower my tip. But that's just me. Then Scott mentions waiters work so hard. They're the backbone of the industry. We always tip these hard working people. I completely agree. Again, this is not about disrespecting hard working waiters. It's about challenging restaurants that try to take away with things that are not legal. Big difference. Good question. Is there a community or organization of gay Catholics in Puerto Vallarta? I don't know the answer to that, Charles. Hopefully somebody in the cluster will provide an answer. I do know that there was a local church that approached me about announcing a pride service. But unfortunately, they let me know on a Saturday of a service that was going to take place on Sunday. We don't broadcast on Sunday. And that was the organization that I mentioned a few days ago that I said to, you have a Facebook page. Why not make a Facebook event in a timely manner? So if somebody knows if there is an organization of gay Catholics in Puerto Vallarta, please share this information, as I'm sure Charles is not the only person that could benefit from it. Thank you for the question. Boom, pididum, boom, boom. Let's see. La. Not a cue, but it's an endorsement. I was on a Vallarta Eats tour with Memo. He was very good. Absolutely. Memo is so funny. He is a great tour guide. Another testimonial for Memo. Memo was surprised that we could manage one of his walking tours with a wheelchair. We surprise a lot of people with how we get around. I know you do, Dan, and that's why I admire you so much. And another one for Memo. Memo is great, very knowledgeable and funny too. There you go, my friend. Un abrazo if you get to watch this. Yay, Memo. Best taco and sculpture tours in Vallarta. Gina has one for Sylvie. Gina says, add to broadcast. There you go. Add to broadcast. Sylvie, yes. This is wonderful. I was talking about Yoxolotl working, not your shorts, but thanks for giving me a smile and a laugh. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Gina writes, big difference. And I'm sure as a restaurant owner, this has to do with this whole issue on tipping. Oh. Thanks for watching my shorts. I love it. I love it. Let's see what else we have. I think this is it. Yes, we've reached the end of today's broadcast. So there you go. No important changes announced today, but we have important changes announced for tomorrow. And why not? I did say that this was the week in which we would announce important changes here at Coffee and Headlines as we try to make the project more worthwhile for people to consider supporting it. We're continuing to do that, and we appreciate, both Luna and I appreciate all the support that you've given me in the last few days, given the nature of some of the comments that I have made. For the rest of you, please know and remember that everything we do is possible thanks to your support, your financial support, your membership, your coffees, and I am so very grateful for that. So today, speaking of support, today I'm having dinner with a cluster member who was so kind enough to donate to us a new XLR cable for the microphone so that it doesn't get scratchy on its own. And again, I am thankful for that. I'll see you again soon, maybe even tomorrow. Take care.